was the dynamic? How did your outlook change moving from physical, more traditional school to homeschool?
I think the biggest difference for me was really your relationships with adults is one of the biggest things. Because in high school, in the actual physical school building and traditional building, I felt like the teachers always kind of you had to prove yourself to everybody. If you want to be trusted by a teacher, you had to prove yourself. That was my personal experience. I felt other people felt the same way. As where when I was a homeschool student, starting even in sixth grade as a homeschool student, I felt like adults trusted you more, trusted me more, versus having to prove myself
Hmm.
because they didn't have all these negative relationships with some students.
Hmm.
Um, that really was the biggest, I think, thing for interactions with people is learning that not all adults like dislike kids, which it seems some teachers do.
Hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. I was gonna ask, do you still have a relationship with your Waldorf teacher?
Not really, not as much.
Okay.
We definitely still have like some contact here and there.
Mhm.
I definitely have more contact from them than my previous teachers at high school at Kettle Moraine.
Right.
But I definitely developed more relationships when I was homeschooled with adults, um, just through connecting.
Yeah. So, well, it was a homeschool mainly like online, and you had like an online teacher, or was it who taught
Yeah.
you?
I didn't do any high school online, any homeschooling online actually until high school. I had all my my mom didn't work; she was a stay-at-home mom, and she would come up with curriculums and then teach me. And my sister at the time was also homeschooled. I have a younger sister, and
Hmm.
she would come up with curriculums and then projects, and then I would do them. So I actually didn't have any online experience. Everything was very in person.
Hmm.
Also, a big part of the curriculum that we came up with was traveling, which was super interesting because instead of just learning about Lincoln through just a textbook or something, we drove to Springfield, Illinois to see this giant Lincoln Museum.
Hmm.
Or when you're learning about just geographic locations in the US, we drove to them, which was an opportunity that I personally wasn't able to have in a high school building.
Absolutely. Yeah. That. What was your parents like idea when they thought that, oh, we're gonna homeschool the kids? Like what, like kind of what, were they not huge fans of the traditional education system?
Yeah, in a way, yes. My mom definitely didn't like all the screens that were going on. She
Hmm.
believed very much in learning about everything, having a broad knowledge of everything.
Hmm.
And she didn't like just sitting staring at a screen learning about that in a building.
Hmm.
So that was very much her like there's more to the world than sitting in a building,
Hmm.
which I definitely helped.
Yeah, yeah. I had, I would say, I would not a fully negative experience, but definitely not as fulfilling of an experience of high school as I could have had, in doing something like you did, because yeah, it was just, you get put into the system and it's constantly reinforced, and it's like the teachers aren't like, I would, like, I in a perfect world, I would still be connected with my teachers. Like the
Yeah,
teacher, like the whole thing is like to develop relationships, and that's something that getting to college, it's like, it's an adult, it's a real like human relationship. It's not just like, it's not. I felt like a lot of the time, like it was kind of fake, like, like, oh, I might have a good relationship with some of these teachers, but am I ever really gonna like reach out to them, or are they ever gonna ever reach out to me after high school? And I
yeah,
honestly wish that the high school would have, like, it's pretty much, you get out of high school and they cut ties. Like it's like, you're an adult, go out into the world. But I think that,
yeah,
like, if they, it would be cool if they followed up with kids, like even just a year later, and got feedback on after, let it set a little bit, and a year after graduating or something, kind of ask students, how was your experience? And that's the problem, is that it's not student focused. Like it's it's super hard for them to be able to educate kids at scale, like a lot of
Uh-huh.
kids. I think it's hard. Like
Yeah, I
it's
agree with you. Yeah, because
it's
even, like, advisors, I never had a close relationship with my advisor when I was at KM, which is, like, the one person who's supposed to be, like, helping you through the experience.
right, right.
Like, their always thing is, "Oh, reach out to us and we'll help," but there's no, "Oh, I'll reach out to you," or, "I'll check in on you,"
Mhm.
and it's just kind of like a it's exactly what you're saying, there's no long-term relationship. If you never
Right.
speak to your advisor, they're just never gonna try to help you.
Yeah. Something that I've been battling with in my head a little bit is thinking, like, half the time I think of all the things done wrong by the high school, but then the other half is like, I am who I am today because of that.
Yeah,
Like, so it's like I kind of saw that from the beginning. I said, I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always been like, I'm kind of like individualistic, kind of, I'm gonna just do my own thing, whatever. Um, but that's obviously kind of the opposite of what's enforced at the school. I think, it's like they're just gonna tell you to basically you just get good grades and be involved with school activities and stuff, but they don't give a shit about what you're doing outside of school. Like, I
yeah,
mean, they
yeah, they definitely don't.
the most I got was like the assistant principal or something saying, "Oh, how's ketchup please going?" Like, just in passing, just like, if I was like, if I was a principal or something, or even a teacher, and I saw some kid starting a business or something, I don't care if I'm entrepreneurial or not. I'm looking for any kid that's doing something different, like, and
Mhm.
super reinforce that into, you know, get the whole school involved, and totally back it, because that's like that. If KM really wants to have a good reputation, or any school wants to have a good reputation, what do you think that they'd want their students to do best, not just in
Yeah,
academics? Like,
I definitely agree with you. Did you ever